Hello everyone, Dan here from the Next Issue Podcast. On today's video, I'll be doing a review for Bleach, Thousand Year Blood War, Episode 18, Rages at Ringside. This episode covers around chapter 560 to 564 of the manga. Kind of, there's a few things that have been rearranged from other chapters, like a few pages or conversations or little things that are either added or omitted. But it's really interesting to see how they are adapting, changing the pace of some things, omitting some things because of the same thing to keep the tension or the pacing going. I like that we do some of these things before the credits, like the catching up with Squad 11, right? They're giving everyone like a status update, including Captain Commander Shinsui, to see what's going on and also to see what the next step is going to be. And then we go back to the fight. We saw that where last we left off, two figures had fallen from the skies, but we find out who they are this time around. So if you haven't seen the episode, make sure to go back and watch it because I will be spoiling some of those things to kind of talk about them in the episode. But we see Captain Kinsey and Captain Love fight off against the Masculine, who is the Stern Ritter that kind of looks like a wrestler. He's got a little friend, Jimmy, who's his second and his biggest fan. And his powers are really interesting. I think the Stern Ritter powers have been really. I think after the last episode where I was a little bit off the tracks, which I still enjoyed, but it wasn't as hype as this one. We're kind of back in what I would call full force. So it's really fun to see those fights. Unfortunately, Mask really makes very quick work of both Kensei and Love. Although I gotta say, it was really cool to see Love's Bankai. Like it's presented in such a fun way, and just kind of like it doesn't feel like it would be the most powerful thing, but obviously we see that it was doing some stuff. And then also how Mask overcame that adversity as well. The bankais are the place where I feel the anime uses the most CGI, but it's so well integrated, and also because it is a bankai, like almost expect it to be its own different entity. So the CGI look of it doesn't feel out of place. It actually emphasizes the point that this is another entity that's helping out the captains. So yeah, the the Soul Society is in a lot of trouble. We get a few glimpses of Yuhobach trying to just kind of just overseeing the fight and everything that's going on. But like I mentioned, Kensei and Love are very quickly taken out by Mask because they don't figure out how to defeat his special power. Right, Jimmy, his fan, heals him, and then as long as he's alive, Jimmy can come back and heal. So um, yeah, it's a really interesting proposition. I think Mask looks great. His voice performance is actually one of the better ones that I've seen in a little while. Just because it's very unique, right? If you're gonna be a wrestler, you really have to sell it, and I think the performer here does a great job with that. Of course, we do get finally after the mid-credit point, we get the reveal of like it was Rukia and Renji who fell from the skies, which I, as a manga reader, I was already aware of, but it's still really cool to see how they were brought in. We get a few extra scenes of like Rukia helping out the wounded captains, taking them back to, to get healed. Because in the manga, a lot of that stuff is just kind of omitted for really time. There was just not enough time to kind of go over all those things. So I'm very glad that Kubo and the team are having the are now being allotted this time to tell the story in a more complete way. Like maybe all the stories that Kubo had originally are being put to screen now, or even maybe some stories that weren't fully part of it. Now Kubo is able to kind of reassess with the team and present them in a way that will make the story even richer. I feel. Um, so yeah, Mask and Renji are fighting. Renji obviously has been training, and we find out that his Bankai, the Sabimaru, was not the full real Bankai. That was not the real name of the Sanpakto. So we now get to see his new Bankai, Soho Sabimaru, which we all kind of knew it was always missing the baboon part, right? If you've seen the anime, including all the fillers, you'll know that Sabimaru looks like well, at least in the anime, it looks like a baboon with a snake, So we saw the snake part of it in Renji's original Bankai, but we see that now we see the full force of it. And boy, Mask gets taken out quickly. Now I will say I think Mask had some issue. Like he didn't have a very sound strategy because he used his superstar power, and it inadvertently I think killed all the Jimmies that were there. Um, but the animation for Mask's superstar power, it's some of the coolest that we've seen in a little while with any of these papers, or with any of these characters. I think the presentation is just a lot of fun. So I had a really good time. This was just a really fun episode. We do have an end credit scene here, but instead of seeing Ichigo again, we actually get a little bit of interaction between Yuhobach and Uryu, and then also Hershua, um, the lieutenant of the Yuhobach right hand man. Um, it looks like every time that one of these Stern Reader is defeated, they go back to Yuhobach, which explains, well, it's one of the reasons why he's so powerful, but also lets the viewer know that, oh shit, like if only a piece of him is this strong to take on these captains, like how strong is this person really? So that'll be fun to see. There's a little bit of tension, especially because Uryu just kind of brought in to be this heir to the empire, if you will. So that'll be fun to see. I'm glad that the anime is allowing Kubo and the team to go back and maybe restructure the story for Uryu, because in the manga there was a like Uryu's story was so short and it kind of came out. It almost feels like it came out of nowhere. So we're able to reassess and just kind of, I don't want to say correct, but expand on some of those themes and rearrange them in a way that they just bring out the true potential. It almost very similarly to this episode. It almost feels like maybe the manga was as cool as it was like not the complete version of a Bankai like Renji's, right? So now the anime is allowing for the full potential of this power to come out. So really fun stuff. I'm so excited to see what's coming up in the future. So if you have seen this episode, let me know what you thought about it down in the comments. As always, thank you for watching, everyone. Remember to share, like, subscribe, hit the bell so you know when we go live. That is most Saturdays, 10 a.m. Central Standard Time. Stay tuned. We have more comic reviews, trailer reactions, TV recaps, all that fun stuff here in the channel. Thanks for watching, everyone. Bye bye.